Good morning, guys. It's Melissa with Practically Creative. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to do something I never thought I'd do. I'm going to give you a quick tour of my sewing room, just so you can see what it looks like. I figure since I spent all day yesterday cleaning it up, that it might be time to let you guys see it. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy my tour. Okay, so as we come in the door, I have a couple of these shoe organizers hanging. I use spray paint for a whole bunch of different things. I like it to change the colors of various items in my room. And then on the right, I have a couple of those IKEA bag organizers. Use them to hold little pieces of wood, dowel rods, bamboo skewers, and I've got a roll of wrapping paper right there. And then I have a nail polish holder that holds all of my paint. And I'm going to try not to make you dizzy. I have a bookcase sitting right here. Has some things on it. A couple of fabrics that are on a shelf that are already on comic boards. Some other little projects I've got going for purses and bags and applique. I have a table right here that houses my embroidery machine. Let me get around here so you can see it. On this table is for it. This table here houses my embroidery machine and a big roll of stabilizer. I have a cutting mat on that table. The back side of the cutting mat has, see, there's the cutting mat, has contact paper on it. And that contact paper just makes it look better. So when I film things, the little bag that came with my flourish that allows me to clean it, stores my extra needles, bobbins, that kind of thing. I have a table runner sitting here that I've done some work on. I need to do some more. I have one of my project boxes out. I had leftover lemons from a quilt, so I'm going to use those. Up here is a thing of starch, an extra cable for my projector, a tailor's ham, and up above is tulle. I use that when I crochet stuff, and a pool noodle. We all know that I do a lot of different things with pool noodles. My closet doesn't have a door, so I used a vinyl tablecloth to make a door for it. Just hides the mess in there if I'm live. There is my ironing board, and that whole shelf is covered in bins that have fabric on it. I put one of my unfinished quilt tops up there, and I'm using it as a design board for my chicken salad. And let me pull back just so you can see. Various fabrics are in various bins here, and it's not super neat. I need to take everything out and do a new inventory, but there's chickens. Up above, I have storage items that need to be sorted and used, gotten rid of, but all of that has stuff in it, and that's on top of a Home Depot plastic shelf. And then you'll notice that I have a built-in shelf here. The one on top is supposed to have all of my bolts of fabric up there, but my other storage stuff has moved its way over there. And I've sewed all kinds of different bins, and I have fabric separated by different things. There's Christmas fabric, there's some knit fabrics up there, there's some faux fur, and some rug mesh. I have this shelf here. It holds scrap sewing that I've done. There's a piece of knit up there that I need to turn into a shirt. And then there's my rivet presses. Hubby built all of these shelves out of plywood and 2x4s. Built them to my height and my specifications. And then I have my Imagine serger, if I can say it, and my cover stitch. And I've collected a whole bunch of different little containers over the years from Walmart and from Goodwill. These hold different things as far as rivets. I have googly eyes, pearls, LED lights to go on my sewing machines. I have, those are chair feet, some laminating pouches, some book rings that I use to hold up patterns, D-rings. I make bags too, and then glue sticks. And then I have up here some rope projects, school glue. This one holds the various rivets and other bag making supplies that I use for bag sewing. My binder for my cover stitch down here. Whoops. This box has, I have to think of what they're called, command hooks in it. There's a bunch of command hooks. There is a, whoops, trying not to jiggle you. There's a picture frame that actually goes with this. All of those feet are the various feet that I have for my brother machine. And this picture frame tells me what drawer each thing's in. And as you can see, I like my pin cushions. There's my chicken and my little dolls that I've painted. I built myself this shelf down here. It holds various items that either don't fit in the drawers or that I need out. And a little dresser. And there's a little dresser from Goodwill. I have all the drawers labeled with what's in them. My project basket that I'm using right now. I have a bunch of scissors and sewing notion tools that I use. A hook to hold, it actually is supposed to hold this, but there's stuff in the way of it hanging up there. This rack has various craft items on it that I don't use a whole lot. And then a little applique that I made back there with some scraps. Here's my Jazz sitting there with her little owl pincushion. And then up on the shelf, I have various packages. I have a printer at the bottom. And then those little metal boxes have things that I inherited from my mom. Zippers and bias tape. I have a place up there to put books and patterns. I paint, so I'm not great at it, but there are some paint brushes, a couple of different things that I've made with my Cricut. And then I have thread in that blue bin. That's all embroidery thread. The white one has various accessories, bobbins for the Jazz, Ziploc bags, some more pens that are on backstock, basically. Down here on my table, next to my Jazz, I have some rulers, a pair of scissors, my rotary cutter, and another pen bin. There is my basic workstation. That's where I normally film at. You can see more boxes. That has elastic in one of them and books in another. Up there are patterns that I'm working with on a regular basis. My hot glue gun is in that pink basket. The box up there actually has doll clothes patterns in it. And there's a couple of dolls. One of them is my Cabbage Patch doll that I've had since I was 12. And the other one is a doll that I bought to match one of my granddaughter's dolls so I can make clothes. I told you guys that I collect old baby lock sergers. There's one of them. It works, but I haven't gotten it out and used it for a whole lot of stuff because my Imagine is so much easier to use. And then there is a wine rack in the corner. That holds terry cloth and bib inners. I use that instead of putting batting in bibs. It washes better for people. The blue bin down there with the overflowing fabric is all of my scraps that have come off of my scrap table this week. Of course, there's my iron. One of those thread stands, that is bobbin thread for the baby lock. And then a few things that I've painted. A bear I made and some other items stored up on my pegboard, which is a wreck right now. But I thought I would show it to you guys. Those are the mats for my scan and cut right there I'm trying to find a place where they can be stored so that they are closer. Bottle of lotion, because we all know that fabric dries your skin out. That little purple right there is an Hotline. There's my Scan and Cut. It has a mat underneath it so it doesn't make noise. And I have curtains made out of an old sheet along the bottom here. Trying not to move too fast. I just serged the edges and put them up. They hide a multitude of sins. And then we're back around here. I have a fan going in my room almost all the time because it keeps the humidity down in here. More painting supplies. I have charm packs and white fabric on that shelf. That thread is all thread that my mother left for me. Another doll. That bar going across there holds my camera whenever I am doing something overhead. And then, trying to get over here to the door. Rulers. Lots and lots of rulers. Some of those are screws, some of those are just little tiny nails to hold my rulers. But this way, the ones that are too big to go in my binder are somewhere where I can find them. And then I have a rack for all of the stabilizers that I use. That's in front. Behind that is a shoe organizer. And that holds a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Different things. So that is a quick down and dirty tour of my sewing room. And of course, when you guys are watching me, I am sitting in that chair, a well-worn chair. And let me take this little picture here so you can see. And this that I don't show under here for a reason. That's all stabilizer and stuff. And I have a couple of nightstands tucked in underneath here. I've painted the drawer of my nightstands. Or the outside of the drawer of my nightstands. And those hold various things. Bias tape makers and stuff that I don't use every day. And then up there on that little shelf is where my project bags live until I make projects. Sorry. Brush, glass to drink out of, pain medication, external pain medication. And then, as always, those 2 spray bottles have Windex in them. And I use that Windex for cleaning up the outside of machines or cleaning off my white counters because they get dirty pretty quick. The top of the counter white is a really thin MDF board, but it works really, really well for surface for countertop. And then most of a bolt of Marshall's Dry Good muslin, which I'm really liking. So there is the quick down and dirty tour of my sewing room. Thank you for watching.